Hey guys, it's Hydra, and today I'll be doing part 2 of my summer farmhouse speed build series. Now, I know that this build is pretty big, so we're not going to be finishing the entire thing today, but not to worry, part 3 will be posted within the next few days. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so since the outside of this build was completed in part 1, we're just going to jump straight into the interior. I'm going to start by placing down my wall trims. And now for a fresh coat of white paint. Okay, in the dining room, I wanted to make a custom dining table to fit the length of the room, so I'm going to use a real table as a guide and then just make my own table using basic shapes. And then right about here I decided to make the tabletop rounded as well by just adding some cylinders. And here's the finished product. Doesn't that look so good? If you know me, you know that I like to add lots of details such as placemats and dishes. However, if you want this build to be a little bit more budget friendly, then you can go ahead and skip this step. And now for some colors and textures. I definitely decided to make the interior of this house a lot more neutral compared to the outside, but yeah. Also, as a side note, did you know that this table is now completely functional? Because of the new update, now we can actually place food onto basic shapes, so now we can place food onto this table without using build mode. And then sticking with the farmhouse theme, I decided to make this light fixture black. I love me some plants, so let's add some. So when I was building this, I hadn't completely figured out exactly what I wanted to do with this wall yet, so instead we're just going to work on the living room for now. I definitely wanted this room to be very grand, so I'm adding this cool little fireplace alcove, and the room is also going to be quite large with 2 stories as well. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill. I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? And a quick side note here, unfortunately this video was pre-recorded, so you won't be seeing any of the new items added in the update. I'm also using very minimal colors, so some examples would be cloudy gray, linen, beige, and a little bit of hurricane gray as well. I just do that's fact and I don't feel no shame. It's a mood you lack. I go crazy. Nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these. And an idea that I had over here on the bookshelf was to have some of the books facing you and some facing away from you, because that way you can color your books actual colors instead of just neutrals without it being too overpowering. Spread with every word that I've said. And a quick building tip is to combine the different white colors. I know that they all look the same on the color palette, however, they actually have slightly different tones. For example, some of them are more pink toned, some of them are more blue toned, and the one that I'm using right now is a lot more gray toned. So They combine very interestingly and can actually add a lot of depth and dimension to your builds without making them too dark. And over here, so that the TV would fit, I decided to make some cool built-in shelves. If I'm being completely honest, this little fireplace alcove is actually one of my favorite parts of this entire house. Over here, I thought the floor looked a little bit empty, so I'm just going to add a couple of quick decorations. So one of my main criticisms that I receive is that my builds are very expensive, and they are, and I'm sorry about that, but I do like how they look, so I'm just going to give you a couple of tips on how to make them a little bit cheaper. So personally, I like to add a lot of decorations for a lot of extra detail. However, it does get a bit pricey, especially if you're using a lot of bookshelves. So instead, you can just make the decorations a little bit more sparse. So for example, on this bookshelf, you could just skip out on the photo frames and the extra decorations and only do the books. That way it'll be a lot more budget friendly and it'll still look just as good. Now, one place to definitely not skip out on is the plants because they always add so much extra detail and make your builds look so much better. So, if they're still too expensive for you, here's a couple of ways to save a little bit more money on them. First, you can just use the cheaper plants in the items, and second, if you actually use a flower pot and the plants that are available in the garden tab instead of the decorate tab, you'll actually save quite a bit more money. You already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. And of course, over here I'm being super extra by adding a bunch of candles, but they're also optional. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what and just to let you know, I'm eventually going to switch this lamp out for a little bit of a more modern one, but for now, that's what I've got. Believe it or not, paintings are actually quite budget friendly and there's tons of different sizes, so you don't need to resize them most of the time. So if you're on a little bit of a tighter budget, that's also a great tip. Alright, let's stop talking about money and move on to the kitchen.
That you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own.
Alright, hang on there while I struggle to make my own custom island. Eventually, I'm just going to use basic shapes because I wasn't completely happy with this either. But yeah.
See life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want.
And over here, you can see that I finally found a use for the smooth cube, which is to make your own custom countertop with it. Over here, I debated about getting some like pillars for the overhang on the countertop, but eventually I just decided to scrap the idea. So originally, besides the counters, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in this kitchen, so I'm just gonna experiment a lot, and eventually I did end up with something that I really liked. And now I'm gonna add some cabinets. I'm going to use these short cabinets so that I can make some open storage on top of them, and over here I decided to move the fridge and add a quick little open shelf. If you want to save some money, just go ahead and use the closed cabinet with these. And now for some more appliances, including that really cool commercial sink that looks just like a farmhouse sink. I also decided to add some closed pantry storage so that I didn't have to decorate those shelves because you know I'm too lazy. And just a heads up, you're also going to see the colors and textures in the kitchen change quite a few times. And then I thought it would be cool if I layered some floors together, but that just didn't work out. So basically don't copy the colors and textures until I finish them because, yeah.
To a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises, or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless.
Alright guys, these are the final textures for the kitchen, so go ahead and copy them at your will.
Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt
And this is why the cloning stamp is simultaneously the best and worst update ever added to the game. It's the best because it makes things super easy and look great and fun, but it's the worst because it means that I'm gonna spend a lot of money.
As a greater curse, a greater thirst, a hunger, pain, and mercy. Just find whatever you got and try to be thankful first. I wanna feel again, I need a couple friends. I never really understood just how the story ends, but I can feel it's tense, don't know the consequence. The volatility of life, my only confidence. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises, or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless.
I know this kind of goes without saying, but I'm just adding a ton of decorations to the countertops. And also, did you know that you can now make the dishes on the dish rack disappear?
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all.
I also wanted the kitchen island to stand out a little bit compared to the other cabinets, so I'm painting it a little bit of a different color, and I'm also going to add some extra detail using these structural items. And yeah, it's that time again for more decorations. However, if you're struggling and you want to maybe use some cheaper ones and fill up more space, maybe you could try to use more of the practical appliances, because I definitely forgot to use a blender, a toaster, or a coffee maker or anything. And for some realism, how about a trash can and, wait a minute, more plants? Okay, so the pendant lights are like super bright, but they don't look good if there's only two of them, and they look great if there's three of them. So, a simple fix: if your room is too bright, just turn one of them off. You can't even notice it.
Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit.
And guess what, guys? We're back in the dining room finishing up this little decoration corner and fixing that lamp because it looked ugly. So over here, I decided to make a powder bathroom because why not? And just to let you know, this clip is super glitchy and I'm sorry, but I can't fix it, so yeah.
I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did I know it hurts.
So does anyone else feel like all their bathrooms, no matter what house they're in, look the same? Because I definitely do. Also, this has nothing to do with what I just said, but I really love the feature where you can resize your towels because it makes everything just better for some reason. And now since my bathroom's done, let's start working on the hallway and the garages. Okay, so since this house is so big and there are bedrooms on the first floor, I decided to have two laundry areas in this house. So the first one's going to be upstairs and it's going to be a little bit larger, and the second one is going to be in the garage and it's going to be a little bit smaller. I know I've addressed this a bunch of times already, but I know that decorations really eat up your budget, but they make your build look so much better. So if you have the money, use them. And over here, I decided to use some of the shelves from one of our recent updates to make some garage storage. So now for the bigger garage, I definitely wanted to be able to fit multiple cars in this garage, so the decorations are going to be a little bit more sparse, but I'm still going to add a bike and a tool bench. Alright guys, the last thing that I'm going to do is add a couple of finishing touches to the areas that I worked on, and yeah, that's going to be it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked this video and you're excited for part 3, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. As always, if you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, make sure to check out my Discord and my Instagram. Thanks for watching, bye!